Hello and welcome to Cunt News. I'm Timothy Cockwallet. These past few weeks have seen a lot of news in the wide and vacuous world of cunts. My wife, Dr. Cockwallet, a gynecologist, says she's never seen so many sick cunts in her whole career. First, we'll start here at home in Canada, the most polite committers of ethnic cleansing this side of the Atlantic. Pope Francis, head of the Catholic Church and thus king of the pedophiles, refused to issue an apology to the Indigenous community of Canada, despite the Church's involvement in the residential school system, which the Canadian government later inherited full responsibility for. The residential schools systematically tortured, sexually assaulted, and killed thousands of Indigenous children over its long decades of existence up until, 1996. I guess the Pope refrained because it would be awkward at the water cooler if he finally started calling out people for crimes against children. This coincided with the toppling of a statue of Egerton Ryerson, who supposedly advocated for segregated schools for Native, Black, and disabled people, which he called a necessary step in the race of civilization. I say supposedly because since his statue was destroyed, all historical record of him suddenly vanished into thin air, because as we all know, the only way to know about history is via a hunk of misshapen rock. Speaking of ethnic cleansing, we turn to the Israeli government, where the new Israeli Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, was sworn in. He is a man whose opinion on Palestinians has been less than stellar. In 2018, Bennett said that if he were defense minister, he would enact a shoot-to-kill policy on the border with Gaza. When asked if that would apply to children, the Times of Israel reported that he replied, "They are not children, they are terrorists." Meanwhile, Bennett's defense minister is currently trying to convince the former PM, and man whose face sags with the weight of all the Palestinian children he's had killed in airstrikes, Bibi Netanyahu, to extend the ban on Palestinian reunification. This effectively makes it so that the spouses and children of Israelis who were born in the occupied territories can't be granted legal status or be allowed to live in Israel with their spouses or parents. Apparently, there's a competition going on at the moment between colonial powers to see who can fuck over children the most. The attacks in Gaza by the Israeli government also resulted in a butt-fuckery of human hemorrhoids bursting out of sphincters across the US and Europe to commit acts of anti-Semitism against Jewish people. Apparently, people are taking the actions of the Israeli government and accusing all Jewish people of taking part in it, making all Jewish people suffer for the crimes of a violent right-wing minority. What was that quote from Bennett again? Oh yeah, that doesn't sound like making all Palestinians suffer for the sins of a violent right-wing minority. I think there's a term that applies here. Fucked up. That's what it is. And finally, we go to the US, where a pile of AIDS-covered shit manifested as Republicans voted against giving medals to the Capitol Police who saved their lives on January 6th, an act that Tucker Carlson, the human equivalent of a late-term circumcision given using teeth and no anesthetic, said was an FBI false flag operation. One of the GOP members, and a creature that cockroaches find disgusting, Andrew Clyde, refused to even shake the hand of Capitol Police Officer Michael Fanone, a man who saved his life. This, of course, was all occurring while the GOP decided to hand-wave away investigating the Capitol insurrection, mostly out of fear that it would add a bucket of dung beetle cum onto their already massive shit pile. And that's our show for this week. We'll be back soon for our series finale. I'm Timothy Cockwallet, and this has been Cunt News.